Some of the most common questions I get on this channel. Do you really get your fortune from being a male escort, Mr. X? And if so, who would actually hire you? Other commonly asked questions are ones I answer in the videos that people don't watch. But I always get, where do I get this custom statue? Well, I'm not going to answer that for you today. I'm going to tell you 10 reasons why you shouldn't buy custom statues. You fucking hypocrite. Well, why do you say that? You buy hundreds of custom statues. Fine. We'll also do a video in a little bit about 10 reasons you should buy custom statues. Asshole. As the Extreme channel is pushing towards 50,000 subscribers, these are just a few of the statues we are giving away on the journey there. If you want to know how to win one, stay tuned for later in the video. Hey, thanks for tuning into the Extreme channel. My name is Mr. X, and today we are doing a segment on custom statues and 10 reasons you should stay away from them. Before we dive into that, we've done a plethora of videos on this channel where you shouldn't buy statues in general, top 10 things to watch out for. Check out this countdown list of other top 10 or countdown videos. But as I said, today we're going to talk about custom statues or fan art, unlicensed. So these are statues that somebody has produced that the licensing entity has not signed off on. Now, depending where you live in the world, most of the time, this is actually illegal to sell unlicensed fan art pieces. Most countries, it's not illegal to buy them, but to produce and sell them for money is where there's an issue. So generally, this is kind of like an underground club. Not a lot of information is given out on it. But there's lots of reasons you should actually stay away from this in the first place, and that's what we're going to cover today. Now, as you saw me fight with myself in the intro, I love custom statues. I think they're fantastic, but sometimes they are a big pain in the ass. So for the reasons I talk about today and many more, some people won't touch them with a 10-foot pole. So with that, let's just kick off the list, starting with number 10. Now, number 10 is a risk you have with licensed products as well, especially in the recent wake of the Prime One Studio Heath Ledger Joker statue. That is, you may receive an inferior product. I've received an inferior product many times in the custom world. Right here is an example of one of the worst ones I ever received. The render looked amazing, but this Magneto vs. Wolverine ended up looking like trash. Now, this can happen for a lot of reasons. Maybe the producer of the statue doesn't have a lot of oversight. Maybe they don't care. Maybe the factory sucks. I've seen some custom producers go to 3 or 4 different factories with the same piece because nobody can get it to the quality they want. And then, of course, you see some who just don't care and want to put the product out. So the number 10 reason you should not buy a custom statue is you have a chance of receiving an inferior product. Number 9 is what I call the risk of fanboys. Just like licensed products, sometimes custom products have a hype group. I call them fanboys. And if you say anything that they disagree with, they will want to come after you. Even as I say this, some of these fanboys may be watching and they're getting pissed at me because they know that they are a fanboy. So at the risk of pissing off the fanboys, sometimes when you go into the custom world, if you criticize something or don't like it, they have nothing better to do, so they're going to come after you. Good fucking luck, guys. Number 8 is similar to that. Most statue producers are human beings, and this is a work of art that they've spent a lot of time on. So they're very proud of it. They take a lot of pride in their work, and they very well should be. However, you can't please everybody, and some custom statue producers have not accepted this. They think that their works of art are the greatest thing in the world. And if you disagree with them, you risk being cut off from their group. Sometimes they may even cancel your pre-orders. They may publicly bash you. So you almost have to tread lightly. Well, Mr. X, why would you ever do that? You're kind of an asshole anyway, and it seems like you don't care what people think. Well, sometimes I want some of their fucking statues. So number 8 is the risk of saying the wrong thing. Number 7 is wait time for custom statues. In my experience, most custom statues take 2 to 3 years from pre-order to actually get to your door. Some even longer. And this is for a variety of reasons. A lot of custom statue producers, that is not their full-time job. Also, because custom statues are in smaller quantities, factories may not prioritize them as they would a large company like Sideshow or Prime One Studio. So their projects may be put on the back burner by the factory. So if you're going to buy a custom statue, there is a long wait time, and that is another reason not to buy them. Number 6, for similar reasons to number 7, because it's a smaller run, custom statues generally have been more expensive in the past. Although nowadays licensed statues are increasing in price, and while this isn't the rule of thumb every time, it is the majority of the time. You will pay more for a custom statue, and I'm talking about the price of the statue only. Typically, a smaller edition size means a higher price, combined with the fact there's a lot of risk when it comes to the custom statue world. And being a big buyer, And being able to do simple math, I can tell you that a custom statue maker doesn't make as much as you think off one project. And the prices are still high. Number 5 also ties into that. Shipping prices for the majority of the world who are outside of Asia can be very expensive for custom statues, as the majority are produced in Asia. So instead of a $50 or $100 shipping charge, you're subject nowadays, especially with the pandemic going on, anywhere from $300 to $1,000 just to ship that product. And in my opinion, that is the reason a lot of people have actually gotten out of the game, because the exorbitant shipping prices, especially with customs. So that's the number 5 reason you should not buy custom statues. Number 4 is about breakages. Now, when you produce a low edition size, for example, 40 different statues, you're not going to have a plethora of parts laying around. So if you get a custom statue and it's a clean break, you're going to be expected to repair it on your own, which to me really isn't a big deal, but to some people it is. Very hard, sometimes prohibitive so, to get replacement parts. Sometimes you're subject to a repair that takes a long time. Believe it or not, I once saw a screenshot of a custom statue commissioner talking about a product that I had received. And I would say I have decent influence. And that person said, "Fuck Mr. X. He can get it fixed on his own." Now, not all statue commissioners are like that. Some will go out of their way and lose money to get your statue fixed or repaired, but sometimes that's just a difficult option because they don't have replacement pieces. So it's definitely a risk and a reason you should not buy custom statues. Now, the top 3 all have to do with risk. As I talked about at the beginning, these are not condoned by the companies who actually own the rights to that particular character. So you have 3 big risks. Number 3 risk only happens, in my opinion, about 1 in 40 times. But maybe the statue commissioner is shady or becomes shady throughout the process. I've been ripped off about 4 different times. In fact, I've even supported people who ended up in the end eventually ripping people off. Some of my biggest regret. And when I say supported, I said they were trustworthy when clearly they were not. So at any time, someone you're buying from could be shady or could become shady, have their own financial problems, and take your money and run. It is a big risk without a lot of recourse for you as a buyer. Another big reason you should not buy custom statues. Number 2 reason, kind of along those same lines, is sometimes that person is not good with money. So maybe they're not shady, they're just inept, stupid, or ignorant. And I don't mean that as them personally, but when it comes to financials. When a custom statue producer makes a custom statue, they have to put forth a big investment. And there are many custom statues where the statue commissioner actually loses money on the project for various reasons, even if they do everything right. So maybe due to mismanagement or unforeseen circumstances, while that custom commissioner may not be shady, they may not be able to complete the project or even have the personal financial funds to back it when something bad happens. So the number 2 reason you should not buy custom statues is most custom statue commissioners aren't bankrolled like a large license company. Now that brings us down to the number 1 reason you should not buy custom statues. Because they are custom, it is possible whoever owns the rights to that licensing will come in and shut those people down. That is a big risk. I've seen it happen a few times, not very often, because let's be honest, Disney for the most part is too busy to worry about somebody making $5,000 on a project where they're making 30 or 40 pieces. It probably costs them more than that just to file the paperwork, but it can happen, so it's definitely a risk. And you will have absolutely no recourse as a buyer if those projects get shut down and that custom commissioner has already paid the factory, sculptor, painter, and other people within the project. So the fact that it's not a condoned activity is the number 1 reason you should stay away from custom statues. So hopefully this gives you a little bit of insight, guys. It is a big risk to buy custom statues. It's a risk to even buy licensed statues, as we've seen from some companies like PCS in the old days or Chronicle Collectibles when they recently got shut down, but more so in the custom realm. However, I can tell you of the hundreds of custom statues I've bought, it's less than a dozen that I've actually had problems with where I got ripped off, there are breakage issues we couldn't repair, things of that nature. So statistically, you're still 90 to 95% chance to have a successful product delivered to you. However, as we've experienced in the last 2 years of this world, things can change at any moment. And I'm going to be honest with you, coming up soon at the end of the year are our traditional annual countdown videos where we look at the best licensed statues, the best custom statues of 2021, 2022. For the most part, with some exceptions, licensed statues have a plethora of awesome options where I don't want to say we don't need customs, but I could see living without them. But hold on to your shit, because very soon, probably in the next month or so, the other video will launch about the top 10 reasons you should buy custom statues, because there are a lot of great reasons, and some of my favorite in my collection actually are custom statues. For now, comment down below any issues you've had buying custom statues. I read every single comment. I love to hear what you guys say, and you could win a statue. To win one of these statues, all you have to do is make sure you've liked this video, you've subscribed to the channel, you've hit that bell notification, and then just drop a comment below. Every 5,000 subscriber milestone, we are going to do a random drawing and pick a random comment and give one of these statues away, plus some additional ones I'm not showing right now. The more videos you comment on, the higher your chances are to win. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys. I really appreciate it. If you like stuff like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button, that picture of me, and that bell notification. Hit the like too, it really helps the channel. Check out some of the links in the description below. Until next time, check out this other video. You have a lot to check out. Better get on it. Take care.